The Renaissance was a very special time in history. The word Renaissance means rebirth in French. This period was like a great awakening for Europe after the Middle Ages. It started in Italy around the year 1350 and slowly spread across the rest of the continent over the next 2 centuries. People began to look at the world in a new way. They became very interested in the ideas and art from ancient Greece and Rome. This was not just about copying the past. It was about using old wisdom to create something entirely new and exciting. This powerful movement changed everything from painting and building to thinking and learning. This period marked a significant shift away from the strict religious focus of the Middle Ages. Think of it as a bridge connecting the old world to the modern one we live in today. Before the Renaissance, life for many people was centered almost entirely around the church and the afterlife. During the Renaissance, a new idea called humanism became very popular. Humanism celebrated human potential and achievements. People started to believe that life on Earth was also important and that humans could do amazing things. This change in thinking opened up a world of possibilities and encouraged people to explore their own talents and curiosity. The heart of this incredible transformation was in cities like Florence, Venice, and Rome in Italy. These cities were wealthy from trade and banking, which allowed rich families like the Medici in Florence to support artists, writers, and thinkers. These patrons paid for magnificent artworks, beautiful buildings, and new books. This financial support gave creative people the freedom to experiment and push the boundaries of what was possible. The cities became vibrant centers of culture and innovation, attracting the best minds from all over Europe. The competitive spirit between these city-states also fueled a desire for greater and more impressive achievements in every field. So why was this rebirth so important? The Renaissance was more than just beautiful art and clever inventions. It was a fundamental change in how people saw themselves and their place in the universe. It fostered a spirit of inquiry and a love for knowledge that had been dormant for centuries. This new way of thinking emphasized observation, evidence, and critical thought. It encouraged people to ask questions, to challenge old beliefs, and to seek out answers for themselves. This bold spirit laid the essential groundwork for all the major scientific discoveries, political revolutions, and artistic movements that would follow in the centuries to come. Art changed dramatically during the Renaissance, becoming more realistic and full of human emotion than ever before. In the Middle Ages, art was often flat and symbolic, primarily serving a religious purpose. Renaissance artists, however, studied human anatomy to make their figures look like real people with muscles and weight. They also developed new techniques, like linear perspective, which created the illusion of depth and space in their paintings. This made scenes look three-dimensional, as if you could step right into them. Artists were no longer just craftsmen. They became celebrated geniuses, respected for their unique vision and incredible skill. Great masters like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo became famous across Europe for their breathtaking work. Leonardo was a true Renaissance man with talents in both art and science. His painting, the Mona Lisa, is famous for its mysterious smile and lifelike quality. Michelangelo was a master sculptor and painter. His statue of David shows a perfect human form, full of strength and confidence, a true symbol of humanist ideals. He also painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in Rome, a massive and awe-inspiring work that tells religious stories with incredible drama and power. These artists showed the beauty and greatness that humans could achieve. This artistic revolution was not just about painting and sculpture. Architecture also experienced a rebirth of classical styles. Architects like Filippo Brunelleschi studied ancient Roman buildings to learn their secrets of harmony and proportion. He designed the magnificent dome for the Florence Cathedral, a feat of engineering that was considered impossible at the time. Buildings from this era featured elegant columns, rounded arches, and symmetrical designs, moving away from the pointed arches and towering spires of Gothic cathedrals. This new style created buildings that felt balanced, calm, and human-scaled, reflecting the core values of the Renaissance. The changes in art reflected the broader shift in thinking. By focusing on the beauty of the human body and the natural world, art celebrated the importance of life on Earth. Religious themes were still common, but they were depicted in a much more human and relatable way. Mary looked like a real loving mother, and saints showed recognizable emotions like sorrow and joy. This new art helped people connect with religious stories on a personal level. It also encouraged people to appreciate the world around them, seeing the divine in the details of nature and the potential within themselves. The Renaissance was also a time of incredible scientific progress, fueled by the same curiosity that transformed art. Scholars began to question long-held beliefs about the natural world. Instead of simply accepting old texts, they started to observe, measure, and experiment for themselves. This new scientific method was a revolutionary way of thinking. People like Nicholas Copernicus, a Polish astronomer, challenged the ancient idea that the Earth was the center of the universe. He proposed that the Earth and other planets actually revolved around the Sun. This idea was shocking at the time, but it opened the door to modern astronomy. One of the most important inventions of this era was the printing press, developed by Johannes Gutenberg around 1440. Before the printing press, books were copied by hand, which was a slow, expensive process. Very few people could afford them, and knowledge spread very slowly. Gutenberg's invention changed everything. It allowed books and pamphlets to be produced quickly and cheaply. Suddenly, ideas could travel across Europe faster than ever before. The Bible was one of the first books printed, but soon, texts on science, philosophy, and literature became widely available, empowering more people to read and learn. This explosion of knowledge had a huge impact on daily life and exploration. New maps, printed with the latest information from sailors, encouraged explorers like Christopher Columbus and Vasco da Gama to embark on daring voyages. They discovered new lands and sea routes, connecting Europe with Africa, Asia, and the Americas in a way that had never happened before. In medicine, scholars like Andreas Vesalius began dissecting human bodies to understand their true structure. His detailed anatomical drawings corrected many ancient mistakes and became the foundation for modern medicine, improving surgical practices and our understanding of the body. The spirit of invention touched every part of society. Leonardo da Vinci, in his famous notebooks, sketched out designs for incredible machines, including flying machines, armored tanks, and parachutes, centuries before they were actually built. While not all of his inventions came to life, his drawings showed the boundless imagination and forward-thinking mindset of the era. This combination of practical invention, like the printing press, and bold theoretical science, like Copernicus's model of the cosmos, set the stage for the scientific revolution that would follow, completely reshaping humanity's understanding of the world. The changes that began during the Renaissance are still deeply felt today, forming the foundation of our modern world. The humanist belief in the value and potential of the individual is a cornerstone of modern democracy and human rights. The idea that every person is important and has the right to think for themselves was a radical concept in the 15th century. Today, we see this legacy in our education systems, which aim to develop the unique talents of every student. We also see it in our political systems, which are built on the idea that citizens should have a voice in their own government. The scientific methods developed during the Renaissance, observation, experimentation, and questioning authority, are the same principles that guide scientists today. Every time a doctor diagnoses an illness, an engineer designs a bridge, or a researcher develops a new technology, they are using the approach to knowledge that was born in this period. The Renaissance taught us to look for evidence and to not be afraid of challenging what we think we know. This spirit of inquiry is what drives all modern scientific and technological advancement, from space exploration to the development of life-saving vaccines. Furthermore, our appreciation for art and culture is a direct inheritance from the Renaissance. The idea of the artist as a celebrated genius, the existence of museums to display great works for the public, and the very notion of fine art all have their roots in this period. When we visit an art gallery, listen to complex music, or admire beautiful architecture, we are participating in a cultural tradition that was revitalized during the Renaissance. The period's masterpieces continue to inspire and move us, reminding us of the power of human creativity to capture beauty and express profound ideas. In summary, the Renaissance was a pivotal moment in history because it fundamentally changed how humanity saw itself and the world. It was a rebirth not just of ancient art and literature, but of human confidence and curiosity. It empowered individuals, revolutionized art and science, and connected the world in new ways. The shift from a world focused on divine authority to one that celebrated human reason and creativity was immense. The echoes of this great awakening are all around us, in our values, our institutions, and our unceasing quest for knowledge, proving that the Renaissance never truly ended.